It's the immovable object and the irresistible force. Manchester United have won all their home games in the league and not yet conceded a goal here. Newcastle with maximum points on their travels. We're underway at Old Trafford. Paul Ince summed up the situation from the champion's perspective, saying to Newcastle, well, you've beaten the boys, but now you face the men of Manchester United. McClare. John Beresford hoping that there's enough pace on the ball to let it run. He's been able to manufacture that quite cleverly. But Kanchelskis, who got 2 goals at Blackburn in Manchester United's last league game, involved straight away firing the ball into the box. Kevin Keegan's had to think deeply about his formation today in the absence of Cole and Kitson. Cantona. Hughes. Peacock was there when needed. And on the run it's Lee. He's got Fox to the right, Beardsley pulling to the left. Lee selects Fox. Watson trying to help out from midfield. Hottiger coming from a deeper position. Sellers, all left foot. Albert, very much left-footed as well, and trying to skim the shot. The scorer of the opening goal in that League Cup win for Newcastle against today's opponents. So recent in the memory. But Albert, stationed as the holding midfield player, in theory, is always prepared to stride on and have a crack at goal. There'll be no surprise to Manchester United about that. Joe Worrell indicating that he's given the free kick against Mark Hughes for handball. Hughes has made public his problems at the moment of a contractual nature, hoping to extend his term of employment with Manchester United, but the club don't quite see it the same way as the player. Oh, Beardsley! Well, he stretched for it, reached it. No sign of any inhibitions from Newcastle United. Alec Ferguson, who praised his young team that represented the club at St James's Park on Wednesday, even in defeat. But both managers have said, really, that game has no genuine relevance to today. Certainly a very different Manchester United. And Newcastle have had to make changes they wouldn't have wanted to make. There's a trip by Watson on Ince on the corner of the penalty area. Newcastle have pulled everyone back. Pallister, certainly one player that Irwin will be able to spot if he takes, or Giggs likewise. Bruce trying to come in from a deeper position. It is Giggs. And it's granted. Gary Pallister was spotted, and his header flew past Cernicek. The champions in front against the league leaders from a set play. Giggs, the surprise choice, so quickly recovered from injury. And Pallister won it against Peacock, I think it was. And Manchester United lead at Old Trafford again. And remember, they haven't let in a league goal here this season. Tells you something of what Newcastle are up against. A man from the northeast, although not from the Geordie part of that area of the country, Gary Pallister, whose goals are rarities, has found one here on a very big day in Manchester. Lee. Well, at the time of Robert Lee's injury, the goals were coming thick and fast for him, for his country as well as for his club. He'll hope to be able to pick up where he left off, and that a signal of his intentions. Sellers, Beardsley, all a bit tight in there, and Newcastle rather overplayed their hand. More directness in the movement from Manchester United, from Giggs in particular. He'll get it again. Ince, keen to his right. Back for Ince again. Leclerc. Didn't connect totally cleanly, but going across the goalkeeper, it still had to be saved. Leclerc late on the scene and getting ahead of Rule Fox with his movement. It was quite an achievement for Newcastle last season not to lose to Manchester United, when you think that the Old Trafford club won the FA Cup as well as the league, undoubtedly the cream of the crop here in England, but there were two 1-1 draws between the two sides. Ince. Since then they've also played each other in a pre-season tournament in Glasgow, which also was 1-1. Mark Hottinger won it on penalties in the shootout. Sellers. Oh, and the deflection took the ball up and over. As Schmeichel hit the ground, he must have wondered whether he was going to be left helpless and the ball in his net. Sellers shot, Bruce lunging in. Beresford went in very quickly. It's taken on by Sellers. Cleared by Ince. Well. Cantona to Kanchelskis. Cantona. Kanchelskis, oh, if the pass had been to him, he would have been very well placed. As it is, he still crosses. Cantona! And the goalkeeper spread himself then. And made a wide enough obstacle to keep the header out from very close range indeed. When it looked as though the danger was lessening, Kanchelskis did all the work over by the corner flag and put in a cross that was tailored for Cantona's head. Blocked by Cernicek. Giggs. And the goalkeeper called upon again from Hughes, who's made a career out of connecting in those difficult circumstances. But Cantona did here with the header, and you can see just making himself wide enough to close the door on Cantona was Pavel Cernicek. Giggs. Hughes. Drafts it on for Kanchelskis. Parried by Cernicek. Beresford's got to whip it away and has done so. Mark Hughes was so well aware of the positioning of Kanchelskis. Fox. Foul from behind by Bruce. And he's going to be booked. Joe Wall has lost his patience. Not the first foul from Steve Bruce in this game. Unlike the man he is, Steve Bruce accepts his punishment. Coming through the back of Fox when he had really very little chance of getting the ball. Well, the Wall reluctant to retreat. It's the next problem for the referee. He's needing to be firm here. Well, Sellers is there and Albert. Sellers curls it, but at a comfortable height for Schmeichel. Cantona. Kanchelskis. Hughes is first there. Oh, well stopped by Cernicek. Mark Hughes had made a great run, and the contact on the cross wasn't bad either. He swept it goalwards, but not into the goal. But that was Manchester United in a nutshell. The thrust of Kanchelskis, Hughes knowing exactly what was required of him. But Cernicek Knew that he was fortunate in that the ball came within range, but given that it did, it was still a fine piece of goalkeeping to hang on. Cantona. Well, Sellers got there when it looked as though Beardsley would. The Manchester United difficulty ended by the half-time whistle, and Gary Pallister strides off with a rare goal to his name, but a most valuable one, tailored for him by the Ryan Giggs free kick in the 12th minute. Newcastle without Andy Cole and Paul Kitson have lacked the sharpness to trouble Pallister and his fellow defenders. And at half-time on this big day at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 0. No changes in either camp at the start of the second half. Watson carrying on with his role as a central striker, and it's Sellers with a great opportunity here. 15 seconds into the second half, and Scott Sellers turns away, wondering how he failed to at least hit the target here. The dropping ball, never easy to strike so sweetly, but if ever he needed a good contact, it was then, and he didn't get it. Watson touched it off well for Lee. Fox. Pottinger going in. Schmeichel deciding he had to fling himself forward to make the dive in contact with the ball. Well, Manchester United rather slow to get their second half underway. Newcastle coming on strong. They've got to become, Newcastle, the first team to score a league goal here since Easter Monday, when Oldham did it twice in the league. Otherwise, the unbeaten run is over. Kanchelskis. It's a terrific ball. And it's Giggs who works it onto the left foot, and Soniček adds to his list of excellent saves. Well, suddenly they woke their ideas up, Manchester United, in the second half, as they needed to do. And well claimed by Soniček. Giggs. Certainly not running with full confidence, whether that's just lack of recent match practice or whether he is feeling that ankle injury. May well be the latter. I'm so keen to play today. Oh, great ball by Sellers. Beardsley. More work for Schmeichel. For Peter Beardsley had got into a position of some menace unattended from Sellers' pass. It's timing his run forward well. Oh, this is Ince turning on the power. It's a corner. And pats on the back all round for Scott Sellers from his Newcastle teammates. Well, Paul Ince is now modern midfield man supreme. He's got such energy in all departments of the game. Hughes! 2-0 to Manchester United. 2 set plays, but no. Hughes is being denied what he thought was a goal for the third successive game that he's played in. The header was superb in its placement, but it does not register on the scoreline. Oh, Schmeichel has again got it to a player who can turn an attack. It's Ryan Giggs this time, away from his berth on the left, and no one had filled in there for him, so he looks again. Beresford, who began his career here in Manchester, in the other camp, Manchester City. Played a bit of a risky game there, not just wanting to knock it out for the throw. Cantona, McClare, Hughes. Ince. Oh! Well, that sums up what we've seen. A sumptuous shot from Paul Ince. Cracked against the bar. He kept on running to Ince, while others were standing in admiration. Cantona. Kanchelskis where you'd expect to find him. Cantona does find him. The compliment is returned. Oh, for McClare! Well, that's football with the bubble of champagne about it. Made a little easier, in truth, by the need of Newcastle United to be upbeat in the other half of the pitch and to commit themselves forward in numbers, but it was still marvellous to behold from Manchester United. It's no surprise Ryan Giggs not to go the full distance here. And to replace him, one of the very promising youngsters that Alex Ferguson has at his disposal. One of several who played against Newcastle in the League Cup at St James's Park on Wednesday night, Keith Gillespie. Cantona skips away from Howie. Oh, that was huge. In goes Ince. Oh, Robert Lee got to him. And Mark Hughes, who, as we've emphasised so often, makes a habit of smacking them in spectacularly, made a mess of Cantona's cross then. It was only straightforward by his standards. Gillespie. Kanchelskis. And Cernicek knocked it down, and fortunately for him, the ball stayed within his grasp at the second attempt. Watson chasing the kick. But Gillespie did very well to set it up here for Kanchelskis. Substitute settling in straight away. Steve Watson has now switched to right back to emphasise his versatility. And he tries to stop Gillespie, can't do that. Gillespie has carved the way through, a great goal! Keith Gillespie, on as a substitute, may well have settled it for Manchester United here. Watson in his third different role in the game, and found out by the directness of Gillespie, really. Peacock couldn't prevent the shot, nor could Cernicek stop the ball speeding past him. And one of the youngsters who played in the League Cup defeat at St James's Park on Wednesday night has hit back here at home in the Premiership in the best possible way. Kanchelskis. Oh! The venom that Kanchelskis got. And it was so fiercely struck at any sort of contact by Cernicek, and it was a super reflex save. And a rather rueful Newcastle United manager. Almost as if he heard what I was saying. Kanchelskis. Hughes lets it run, and it's Gillespie again. Well, he scored a goal when he first got into the side as a 17-year-old in first team in an FA Cup tie here against Bury. He scored for his country very recently in a European Championship qualifier, and now he's scored here in the Premiership for Manchester United in the biggest match of the season so far. Beardsley beaten to it by Keane. No letting up from Manchester United. They really want to make a point today. Hughes! Hughes in front, forcing it powerfully, just over the bar. Gillespie, who in truth is regarded here as the understudy for Kanchelskis on the right-hand side, shown what he can do on the left. Cantona, Owen! Well, they've carved out another chance here as Newcastle understandably really flag and look at Cantona's pass. Owen's run, the ball bounced up just a little too much for him to be able to control the shot. The champions have become the first conquerors this season of the club, which leads the challenge for their crown. It's the end of Newcastle's unbeaten run. Gary Pallister got it off on the right note for Manchester United with a header from Ryan Giggs' free kick. Giggs went off, Keith Gillespie came on to hammer in a glorious second. But Newcastle, their search for glory will certainly not be terminated by their first defeat here. So much talk of the ambitions of Manchester United in Europe, but let's point out that in between two big battles with Barcelona, United have reaffirmed their love for their own league by beating Blackburn at Ewood Park, and now Newcastle here today. Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 0.